Most people are waiting for a miracle, not realizing the miracle is hidden in what they do every single day. They believe wealth arrives through luck, talent, or a sudden opportunity, but the truth is far less glamorous and far more powerful. Rich lives are not built in dramatic moments. They are built in quiet mornings, disciplined evenings, and repeated choices no one applauds. The future you want isn't created by what you plan to do someday. It's shaped by what you repeat today. Look closely at the people who win long term. They don't wake up inspired every day. They don't feel motivated all the time. Yet they show up anyway. They read when others scroll. They plan when others complain. They invest time, energy, and focus when others waste it. Not because it's exciting, but because it's effective. While the world is chasing shortcuts, they are stacking habits. While others want fast results, they understand that repetition is the real advantage. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every small action, no matter how insignificant it feels, is training your brain for either progress or stagnation. The same daily routines that feel boring today are the ones that will feel powerful tomorrow. And the habits you avoid now will become the regrets you carry later. This is the uncomfortable truth most people run from. Your current life is a reflection of your daily standards. Think about it. If nothing changes in how you wake up, think, work, and decide, why would your future be different? Hope without habit is delusion. Dreams without discipline are distractions. Wealth doesn't respond to desire, it responds to consistency. It responds to the person who shows up even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. This is where the shift begins. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. You don't need a new life, you need new patterns. You don't need more motivation, you need non-negotiable habits. The moment you commit to doing the same powerful actions daily, your identity starts to change. And when your identity changes, your results have no choice but to follow. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start becoming the person who doesn't wait. Do the same things daily, and let time do the rest. Everything changes the moment you realize that wealth is not something you chase, it's something you become. Most people try to change their results without ever changing their identity, and that's why they keep falling back into the same cycles. They say they want more money, more freedom, more power over their time, yet deep down they still see themselves as someone who procrastinates, hesitates, and settles. And your actions will always obey the identity you believe in. Look at how your mind works. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-image. If you see yourself as undisciplined, you'll eventually break discipline. If you see yourself as average, you'll unconsciously sabotage extraordinary opportunities. But when you decide, truly decide, that you are becoming a focused, consistent, growth-driven person, your behavior begins to shift automatically, not perfectly, but permanently. Wealthy individuals don't wait for confidence before acting. They act first, and confidence follows. They don't ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" They ask, "Is this who I am?" A rich identity doesn't negotiate with excuses. It doesn't need external validation. It operates from standards. Standards turn effort into habit, and habit turns effort into identity. Every day you are casting votes. When you wake up early instead of hitting snooze, you vote for discipline. When you learn instead of wasting time, you vote for growth. When you take responsibility instead of blaming circumstances, you vote for power. No single vote decides the election, but repeated daily, they make the result inevitable. This is how ordinary people transform into unstoppable forces. Stop saying, "I want to be rich." That language keeps wealth in the future. Start saying, "I am building the habits of a rich person today." Speak it. Live it. Prove it through action. Your brain believes what you repeatedly show it, not what you occasionally promise it. Act broke in mindset. Stay broke in results. Act rich in discipline. Become rich in outcomes. This shift is uncomfortable because it demands ownership. No one is coming to save you. No moment is coming to change you. You are the moment. The day you upgrade your identity is the day your habits begin to align, your focus sharpens, and your standards rise. Become the person who does what must be done, especially when it's hard. That identity will carry you where motivation never could. The way you start your morning is not a routine, it's a declaration. It tells your brain whether you are in control or reacting to the world. Most people wake up and immediately surrender their power. They grab their phone, absorb chaos, compare their lives, and let external noise dictate their emotional state. By the time the day truly begins, their focus is already fractured. Winners don't live like that. Builders don't live like that. People who grow wealthy understand that the first hour of the day is sacred ground. Morning is when your mind is the most programmable. Before the world starts demanding, criticizing, and distracting you, you have a rare window of clarity. Rich builders use that window to decide who they will be that day. They think instead of rush. They plan instead of panic. They strengthen their mind before they spend their energy. This isn't about waking up early for the sake of it, it's about waking up intentionally. Control the morning and you control the direction of the day. When you wake up with purpose, you stop chasing the day and start leading it. Even a short morning ritual, reflection, planning, learning, movement, creates momentum. Momentum compounds. One focused morning leads to a productive afternoon. Productive days stack into disciplined weeks. Disciplined weeks quietly turn into powerful years. This is how people get ahead while others feel stuck, even though both are working hard. The truth is brutal but freeing. If you don't create structure in the morning, life will create chaos for you. You will react instead of act. You will drift instead of build. Wealth doesn't grow in reactive minds. It grows in clear, calm, prepared minds. That preparation starts before the noise begins. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a repeatable one. Something simple but non-negotiable. A promise you keep to yourself before you keep promises to the world. Because self-trust is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is the fuel of execution. Each morning you show up for yourself. You prove that your future matters. Tomorrow morning is a chance most people waste without realizing its value. Don't be most people. Wake up with intent. Guard that first hour like it decides everything, because over time it does. Win the morning and you don't just improve your day, you rewrite your trajectory. Your future is being silently stolen by distractions you keep calling harmless. Every notification, every unnecessary conversation, every moment of divided attention is pulling you further away from the life you say you want. Wealth doesn't disappear in big dramatic losses. It leaks away in seconds of lost focus repeated daily. The difference between those who build extraordinary lives and those who stay stuck is not intelligence or talent. It's the ability to concentrate when everything is trying to pull them apart. Focus is a force. When you can direct your attention without interruption, your work deepens, your thinking sharpens, and your progress accelerates. But most people never experience this power because they are constantly reacting. They check instead of create. They consume instead of build. They confuse busyness with productivity and wonder why nothing meaningful moves forward. The truth is uncomfortable. If you can't control your attention, you will never control your income, your time, or your future. High performers make ruthless decisions. They don't negotiate with distractions. They eliminate them. They understand that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something life-changing. Focus demands sacrifice. It demands that you disappoint people, delay entertainment, and ignore noise. But what you gain in return is momentum, clarity, and results that speak louder than explanations ever could. When you work with full presence, time bends, hours become productive, effort multiplies, you stop feeling overwhelmed because your energy is no longer scattered. This is where confidence is built, not in motivation, but in execution. Each focus session is proof that you are capable of directing your life instead of drifting through it, and that proof changes how you see yourself. Distraction feels easy in the moment, but it carries a hidden cost: unfinished goals, half-built dreams, and the constant frustration of knowing you could do more. Focus feels hard at first, but it pays compound interest. 1 hour of deep, uninterrupted work is worth more than 10 hours of broken attention. Do that daily, and you separate yourself from the majority without saying a word. Protect your focus like it's your future, because it is. Turn off what doesn't matter. Create space to think, build, and execute. When you choose focus, you choose progress, and when progress becomes your habit, success stops being a question and starts becoming a pattern. Your income will never outgrow your thinking. Read that again. The ceiling on your life is not set by your background, your age, or your circumstances. It's set by what you know and how you apply it. The world rewards those who understand it better and punishes those who stop learning and call it comfort. Rich people don't win because they know everything. They win because they keep upgrading their mind while others stay mentally parked. Every day you're either sharpening your edge or letting it rust. There is no neutral. When you learn daily, even in small amounts, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start making better decisions, asking better questions, and avoiding expensive mistakes. Knowledge doesn't just add power, it removes fear. Fear exists where understanding is missing. The more you learn, the less intimidated you become by challenges that once felt overwhelming. Most people consume information to be entertained. Builders consume information to be transformed. They read books that stretch their thinking. They study skills that increase their value. They learn from mistakes instead of repeating them. One idea can change your strategy. One skill can change your income. One shift in perspective can change the entire direction of your life, but only if you expose your mind to growth consistently. You don't need hours, you need commitment. 15 focused minutes a day beats 0 hours of intention. Learning compounds quietly. At first, nothing seems to change. Then one day you realize you're thinking faster, speaking clearer, and acting with certainty while others are still guessing. That's the power of daily input. It rewires how you see the world. Ignorance is expensive. It costs people years of effort with little return. It keeps them trapped in cycles they don't understand. Learning breaks cycles. It gives you leverage. When you invest in your mind, no one can take that asset away from you. Markets change, jobs disappear, circumstances shift, but a sharp mind adapts, pivots, and rises again. Make learning non-negotiable. Treat it like training for the life you want. Read when others scroll. Study when others complain. Ask questions when others make excuses. The moment you decide to learn daily, you separate yourself from the crowd. And over time, that separation turns into leadership, confidence, and wealth. Grow your mind every day, and watch everything else start to grow with it. Motivation is loud, emotional, and unreliable. It shows up when things feel exciting and disappears the moment resistance appears. Discipline, on the other hand, is quiet, cold, and unstoppable. Wealth is never built on feelings, it's built on standards. The people who rise don't ask themselves how they feel, they ask themselves what must be done, and then they do it, especially on the days they don't want to. This is where most people fall behind. They wait to feel ready, inspired, confident. They wait for the right mood. But discipline doesn't wait. Discipline moves even when energy is low, when results are invisible, when progress feels slow. That's why it works. Anyone can act when motivation is high. Only builders act when it's gone. Every disciplined action is a message to your brain, I am in control. Over time, that message becomes belief. Belief becomes confidence. Confidence becomes momentum. And momentum becomes results that shock people who only ever saw your quiet consistency. Discipline turns effort into identity. You stop trying. You become. Small disciplined actions done daily are more powerful than massive actions done occasionally. One workout doesn't change a body. One focused work session doesn't change a career. But repeated daily, they create transformation that looks sudden from the outside and inevitable from the inside. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you say you want to go. The uncomfortable truth is this: your excuses feel valid, but they are expensive. Every time you skip what you promised yourself, you weaken self-trust. Every time you follow through, you strengthen it. And self-trust is everything. Without it, goals collapse. With it, obstacles shrink. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect in action. It's choosing your future over your comfort. It's doing the work when no one is clapping, no one is watching, and no reward is guaranteed yet. That's where real power is built. Stop chasing motivation, build systems, set non-negotiables, decide in advance what you do on good days and bad days alike. When discipline becomes your default, success stops being a question of if and becomes a matter of when, and that is the moment your life starts moving forward with force. Every powerful life is built on one difficult skill most people avoid: the ability to say no now so you can say yes forever. Delayed gratification is the dividing line between those who stay trapped and those who break free. The world is engineered to keep you comfortable, distracted, and satisfied just enough to stop you from becoming dangerous. Rich builders see through that trap. They choose long-term power over short-term pleasure, even when no one else understands their discipline. Most people spend their money, time, and energy the moment they feel it. They chase relief, entertainment, validation. It feels good today, but it quietly steals tomorrow. The wealthy play a different game. They invest instead of spend. They build instead of show off. They endure temporary discomfort to buy permanent freedom. They understand a brutal truth: comfort is addictive, and addiction kills growth. Every time you delay gratification, you strengthen your future self. When you work while others relax, save while others spend, learn while others escape, you are compounding advantage. At first, it feels unfair. You'll wonder why you're sacrificing while others seem to enjoy life. But seasons change. The bill always comes due. And one day, the roles reverse. Discipline starts paying dividends, and excuses start demanding interest. This isn't about suffering for no reason. It's about strategy. It's about knowing that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. Rich builders feel the discomfort early so they don't have to live with limitation later. They trade nights out for skills, impulses for investments, applause today for freedom tomorrow. Your brain will fight this. It wants easy, it wants now. But you are not your impulses. You are your decisions. Every time you resist a shortcut, you prove that you are in control, not your emotions. That control builds confidence. Confidence builds patience. And patience builds wealth. Ask yourself a hard question. Are you spending your future to entertain your PR? A cent? Because every unnecessary expense, every wasted hour, every indulgence that delays growth is stealing from the person you could become. The rich protect their future like it's sacred, because it is. Choose the harder path now. Train yourself to wait. Train yourself to invest. Train yourself to think beyond today. When delayed gratification becomes your habit, success stops feeling distant. It starts feeling inevitable. And one day, you'll wake up in the life others only dreamed about, because you were willing to wait, build, and earn it. What you don't measure, you can't master. Most people say they want success, but they refuse to look closely at their own behavior. They move through life on autopilot, hoping effort alone will save them. It won't. Rich builders don't rely on hope. They rely on awareness. They track because they understand a powerful truth. Clarity creates control, and control creates results. When you track your habits, your time, your money, and your progress, you force honesty into your life. No excuses, no stories, just facts. And facts are freeing. They show you where you're leaking energy, where you're wasting potential, and where small adjustments can produce massive gains. Awareness alone can change behavior. The moment you see the numbers, the patterns, the truth, you can't unsee it. Most people avoid tracking because they're afraid of what they'll find. But avoidance is expensive. Rich builders lean into discomfort because they know that short-term discomfort produces long-term dominance. They review their days, their weeks, their decisions, not to judge themselves, but to sharpen themselves. Every review is a lesson, every lesson is leverage. Tracking turns vague goals into executable plans. I want to be successful becomes, I worked 3 focused hours today. I want to be wealthy becomes, I saved, invested, and learned something. Hat increases my value. This is how dreams stop being fantasies and start becoming systems. Systems win when motivation fades. When you track consistently, progress becomes visible, and visible progress fuels momentum. You start trusting yourself more because you can see evidence of effort. You start moving faster because you know exactly what works. You stop guessing and start executing with precision. That confidence is addictive in the best way. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Some days will fall short. Some weeks won't impress you. But tracking keeps you aligned. It pulls you back on course before small mistakes become massive failures. Rich people don't avoid mistakes, they catch them early. Write it down, review it, adjust, repeat. Whether it's a notebook, an app, or a simple checklist, make tracking non-negotiable. Because once you can see your progress, you can accelerate it. Once you can measure your growth, you can multiply it. And when progress becomes visible and intentional, success stops being accidental and starts becoming inevitable. You are not just influenced by your environment, you are programmed by it. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you tolerate, and the standards around you quietly shape your habits, your thinking, and your expectations. Most people underestimate this power and pay the price with their potential. Rich builders don't leave their environment to chance, they design it with intention. Look at your daily surroundings. Do they challenge you or comfort you? Do they push you forward or pull you back? Energy is contagious. Discipline is contagious. Laziness is contagious too. When you surround yourself with people who complain, settle, and avoid responsibility, you absorb that mindset without realizing it. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. High performers respect this reality and act accordingly. Wealthy individuals choose proximity wisely. They seek people who think bigger, move faster, and demand more from themselves. Not to feel inferior, but to be stretched. Growth requires friction. When you're the smartest person in every room, you're in the wrong rooms. When your environment normalizes excellence, your standards rise automatically. This also applies to what you listen to, watch, and read. Your mind is always listening. Feed it garbage, and it will produce excuses. Feed it strength, and it will produce solutions. Rich builders audit their inputs relentlessly. They cut off negativity, limit noise, and replace it with ideas, conversations, and content that sharpen their focus and belief. Designing your environment isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. Sometimes growth requires distance. Not everyone will understand your discipline. Not everyone will support your ambition. That's okay. You're not here to be understood. You're here to build something meaningful. And that requires protecting your energy. Change your environment and your behavior will follow with less resistance. Want to work more? Remove distractions. Want to think bigger? Expose yourself to bigger thinkers. Want to stay disciplined? Stay close to people who live by standards, not excuses. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about choosing yourself. You don't rise to your goals. You sink to your environment. So raise it. Upgrade it. Design it like your future depends on it, because it does. When your surroundings support your habits, success stops feeling like a fight. It becomes the natural outcome of the life you've intentionally built. Everything you are doing today is shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Your habits, your choices, your standards, they accumulate quietly, invisibly, until one day you wake up and realize you are unrecognizable from the person you were. E4. This is the power of repetition, the magic of consistency, and the ultimate secret of wealth. Small actions done daily compound into extraordinary transformation. You don't need luck. You don't need a miracle. You need the relentless commitment to show up, again and again. Imagine your life as a sculptor's block of marble. Every habit, every decision, every small action is a strike of the chisel. Some are precise, intentional, deliberate. Others are careless, unthinking, and leave marks that disfigure. Over time, the shape of your life emerges, not by accident, not by inspiration, but by the cumulative force of repeated action. The rich understand this. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't rely on motivation. They strike their marble daily, relentlessly, with focus and purpose. Identity is forged through action. You become what you repeatedly do. Want to be disciplined, act disciplined. Want to be successful, act successful. Want to be wealthy, build the habits of wealth every single day. It may feel slow at first. It may feel invisible. That is the test. That is where most people quit. But those who persist, those who embrace the invisible work, the unglamorous grind, emerge transformed. Their results reflect not a single effort, but a lifetime of small, intentional strikes that no one else saw. Consistency also builds confidence. Each day you honor your standards. You prove to yourself that you are capable. Each time you resist the easy choice in favor of the meaningful one, you strengthen self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of courage, boldness, and unstoppable momentum. Without it, fear dictates action. With it, you move with clarity, power, and inevitability. Now is the moment to commit. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. The life you want exists only through daily repetition. Show up for yourself. Do the same things relentlessly. Keep your standards high. Guard your habits. Let time and consistency do what instant gratification never can. Keep chiseling, keep striking, keep building. One day soon, you will turn around and realize the person staring back at you in the mirror is unrecognizable from who you once were, and everything you dreamed of will finally be within reach.